1020 works on the Farquhar branch line with a Jinsey named Gerald. They work hard on their little line and they take great pride in doing so. 1020 and Gerald know all the townsfolk very well. Often the engines see them along the line and whistle a friendly "hello," to which they wave back. One day, 1020 was at Farquhar waiting for his passengers to exit when he saw something very odd. "What's that thing over there?" he asked. His driver looked over and saw a very strange-looking bird. "That's an owl," said his driver. "What is it doing here? I thought they usually hanged around forests." "They do," his driver replied, "but Mr. and Mrs. Perkins got one recently. Maybe it just flew over here from their house." "Well, they need to keep that thing off the line," 1020 replied. Before he or his driver could say anything else, 1020 had to leave. The guard blew his whistle. Later that night, 1020 was sleeping at Elsbridge. Suddenly, he heard a loud "hoot, hoot." He woke up with a scare. "What was that?" he cried, when he looked up and saw the owl, hooting as he pleased. "Stupid owl," he hissed. "Can't let an engine sleep." He tried to fall back asleep, but the owl kept hooting. "Hoot! Hoot!" 1020 was cross. "Oh, that owl doesn't stop, does it?" The next morning, a very tired 1020 was complaining to Gerald as he puffed into the station. "That owl wouldn't shut up, not even for a minute. I barely slept a wink last night." Gerald, sympathetic, smiled at him. "Owls usually stay up at night and sleep during the day, so it makes sense," he replied. 1020 was indignant. "Well, I think Mr. and Mrs. Perkins shouldn't let that beast out on a railway. What would happen if we hit it?" "You can't keep a wild animal like that in a house all day," Gerald replied. "It needs to go out and about, much like us engines. You weren't too happy when you were shut up in the sheds, were you?" 1020 just scoffed and puffed away, still fuming. For the next few days, 1020 would see the owl on the branch line in one place or another, and every time he saw the owl, he would always complain. When he saw Mr. and Mrs. Perkins, he would yell, "Get your owl off my branch line!" His driver would always scold him afterwards, but he didn't care. He would always try to shoo the owl away by blowing steam or whistling loudly at it. Gerald also tried reasoning with him, but nothing. One day, 1020 was at Knapford Harbor talking to Regaby and Tyler. "That stupid owl won't go fly off and bother someone else. I see it every day and it annoys me that much more every time I see it." Regaby replied. "You would never see such things on the main line. Over there, class and speed are top priority." "Don't listen to his nonsense," Tyler said to 1020. "The owl is probably just curious about the railway. Let it be. I'm sure it will go away soon. Besides, you can always sleep with us here if it's bothering you. We've got new sheds." "It's okay," he replied. "I'll chase that bird brain off my line. Just you wait and see." I'm sorry to say, but he didn't drive the bird away at all. It in fact only made it more curious about the line. 1020 was angry about it and he got his driver and fireman to talk to the Perkins about it. Nothing came of it and the bird never left. One fateful day, 1020 was traveling down the line. He was running late and was speeding down the line when he felt something hard hit his boiler. "Ouch!" he exclaimed. "That hurts!" When he checked to see what he had hit, he was most surprised. There it was, the owl laying on the ground next to him. The owl had hit into his boiler. It didn't see it coming because he was going too fast. Once 1020 told his driver and fireman, arrangements were made, and they were to meet a vet at the next station. They loaded the owl into 1020's cab, and they quickly set off. When they arrived to the next station, there it was. The vet was waiting for them there. They soon dropped off the owl to the vet, and she set off. 1020 really hoped that the owl would be okay. And I'm happy to say that by the time the week was over, the owl had returned to its rightful home and everything was well again. And now, every time 1020 sees the owl or the Perkins, he doesn't hiss angrily at them, he blows a friendly hello to his new friend, the owl.